Over the last 150 years, Tennant Company has established itself as the premier producer in innovative cleaning technologies. However, our recent discussions with customers lead us to believe that Tennant's most recent cleaning innovation may have missed a spot.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to the CFA Society judges. My name is Wayne LaFave, and with me this evening is Nick Speltz, Sean Grody, Jordan Thorpe, and Brandon Rude. Together, we are proud to represent the University of Minnesota-Duluth.
Today, we are initiating a hold recommendation on Tennant Company with a 12-month price target of $82, implying a 1% upside from current price levels. Our recommendation is backed by our valuation, along with numerous merits and concerns supporting our assumptions.
Tennant currently operates through 4 reportable business segments, the largest of which is equipment, generating 65% of the company's $1.1 billion in annual revenue. Tennant generates a majority of its revenues in the Americas at 63%, followed by EMEA at 27%, and APAC at 10%.
Strategic M&A opportunities have enabled Tennant to heighten its international presence. The company acquired IPC Group in 2017 and Galway in 2018 to bolster its presence in both the European and Chinese mid-tier markets.
These acquisitions were completed under the company's previous core strategy, which focused on expanding global coverage. To unlock the benefits of its broader platform, management elected to implement its 3 strategic pillars designed to drive profitable growth, targeting an EBITDA margin of 15%. This strategy is led by CEO Chris Killingstad and CFO Keith Woodward.
We believe management's compensation aligns well with Tennant's new strategic plan, as short and long-term incentives make up the majority of total pay and are largely dependent upon different profitability metrics. However, we remain cautious regarding management's ability to execute on this new strategy, as it was unable to fully complete its previous goal of a 12% operating margin by 2013 and 2017.
Tennant is the leader of the janitorial equipment manufacturing industry, controlling 20% of the market. The company's most prominent competitor is Nilfisk, who operates through different premium and mid-tier brands in each of Tennant's main product categories and geographical regions. We believe Nilfisk acts as the greatest competitive threat to Tennant, given the firm's similar commitment to innovation and its global scale. Tennant also faces competition from smaller players such as Karcher and Heiko, who operate primarily within Europe.
Together, Tennant and its competitors service more than a dozen end markets. Demand for janitorial equipment and services is primarily driven by end customer business investments, which should continue driving long-term demand, as facilities will always need to be properly cleaned and maintained. Demand for autonomous equipment is expected to benefit from increasing janitorial wages, which have grown 20% over the last decade.
Moving into the assigned rating, we find the company's leadership position in the industry attractive, but feel the street has adequately priced future growth expectations. Our valuation includes key concerns that we believe will inhibit stronger top-line growth, along with merits in the business that we expect to limit any significant downside risk.
Throughout its history, Tennant has showcased unquenchable determination and commitment to producing the highest quality products in the industry, as demonstrated by its Quest for Quality program, ISO certifications, and supplier manual agreement. In our conversations with Tennant customers and distributors, we discovered that the company is the industry's premier producer. For example, a member of UMD's facility management group praised the company for its exceptional product quality and even referred to Tennant's T7 as the Cadillac of floor scrubbers. We believe the company will continue to uphold the highest levels of product quality, which should further entrench its position as the industry's dominant player.
Tennant's moat is further enhanced by its high-quality service network, which is unmatched by industry competitors. Tennant's service platform consists of more than 900 field technicians and many unique service offerings. Because machine downtime is a tremendous pain point for cleaning service operators, receiving timely and effective maintenance services is a critical element keeping facilities properly sanitized. We believe Tennant's vast service footprint will allow the company to retain customers and attract new clients who have grown tired of receiving subpar maintenance services from competitors.
Tennant's development of new and innovative cleaning solutions has further distanced itself from competitors. The company has revolutionized cleaning through innovations such as ECH2O, FAST, and Iris Asset Manager. We believe the company will continue to build off the initial successes of its T7 AMR and implement a series of robotics technologies and other products within its portfolio. Behind the leadership of Mr. Killingstad and other key executive leaders, we believe Tennant is well positioned to drive the next wave of robotics innovations.
Now let's move on to our concerns. We believe that industry-wide partnership with Brain Corporation detracts from the strength of Tennant's moat. While we view this relationship as positive overall, we expect the company will struggle to capture market share of the autonomous segment. While we view the relationship as positive overall, we expect the company will struggle to capture market share of the autonomous segment. We also believe an influx of low-cost competitors could challenge Tennant's ability to command top-tier prices for its AMR and retain customers who cannot afford its autonomous equipment.
Despite the significant progress made in global trade negotiations and Brexit, we expect these ongoing issues to delay the integration of IPC and Galway. We expect reduced business confidence and investments will continue slowing demand from distribution channel customers, as well as challenge the company's ability to cross-sell its premium Tennant label products. Together, we believe these concerns will present near-term challenges to Tennant's top-line growth and EBITDA margin expansion.
Tennant has supplemented organic growth through the acquisitions of IPC and Galman, generating total revenue growth of 40% over the last 5 years. Going forward, we project Tennant will generate significantly slower growth due to the company's strategic shift towards profitability and the nature of the industry, which tends to follow GDP. We forecasted modest top-line growth of 2.9% annually through fiscal year 2024, with the strongest growth coming from the equipment and services segments.
Since fiscal year 2016, gross margins have contracted by more than 300 basis points due to higher sales volume in Tennant's lower margin distribution channel, increasing from 25 to 35% of sales. We believe this will be accretive to Tennant's EBITDA margin because of management's new goal to maintain a hands-off relationship with its distribution partners. While we believe EBITDA margin will improve relative to pre-acquisition levels, we do not project Tennant will attain its goal of 15% due to our concerns, coupled with our hesitancies regarding management's ability to execute upon its initiatives.
To acquire IPC, Tennant issued $353 million in debt, pushing net debt to EBITDA and EBITDA to interest expense to 4.1 and 3.1 times respectively. These metrics have improved to 1.9 and 6.5 times due to management's commitment to paying down debt. Because of Tennant's limited financial flexibility and management's new strategic plan, we expect the company will not generate significant inorganic growth through another impactful acquisition in the near future. However, we believe the constrained balance sheet will not hurt the company's premium position, as Nilfisk is also highly levered, with a net debt to EBITDA of 2.9 times in 2019.
To value Tennant, we performed an intrinsic valuation through construction of a discounted cash flow model. We applied short-term sales growth of 2.9%, long-term sales growth of 2.5%, terminal sales growth of 2.25%, and a WACC of 6.9% as our discount rate, which was sourced from the standard CFAMN cost of equity method. With these assumptions, we arrived at an intrinsic value of $82 per share.
Sales were projected based on each of Tennant's business segments, taking into account historical percentage of sales, growth, management guidance, and future growth opportunities. Our terminal value of 2.25% was calculated using long-run GDP expectations for each of Tennant's geographical segments, using management's goal of a 50-50 geographical split.
To further support our DCF, we conducted an EV to EBITDA valuation. Tennant currently trades at 13.7 times EBITDA for the last 12 months. We assigned a 13.5 times forward multiple on an estimated $135 million of fiscal year 2020 EBITDA, representing a 6.4% growth from the previous year. Using these assumptions, we arrived at a share price of $85 after net debt.
To support the accuracy of our valuations, we analyzed forward EV to EBITDA multiples for Tennant and Nilfisk. We discovered Tennant trades at a significant premium with a multiple of 12.7 times compared to Nilfisk at 8.2 times. We believe Tennant deserves to trade this premium due to the merits we've outlined within the business.
We've identified 5 key risks to our investment recommendation. We believe the loss of critical sole source vendors, failure to bring innovative products and solutions to market, and an unexpected decline in commercial and industrial real estate occupancy rates could have adverse effects on the company. On the opposite side, we believe the rapid adoption of automated cleaning equipment and a rejuvenated international macro landscape could propel Tennant to outperform our expectations.
In conclusion, we would like to reiterate our hold recommendation with a price target of $82, implying a 1% upside. We believe our concerns and valuation assumptions warrant our hold recommendation despite the merits we have identified in the business. We would like to thank CFA Minnesota, our judges, and the audience for coming out tonight, and we will now open the floor for any questions.
So you start started your presentation by saying that they missed a spot with the new technology, and it sounded to me like you were saying that by partnering with Brain, that was the spot that they missed. If that's the case, can you describe what you think a better path would have been for them to enter the autonomous market?
Yeah, one thing that we think the company could have done is work on developing its own technology. And we're not saying that the partnership with Brain is bad. One thing we mentioned was that we view it as a positive overall relationship. But we do believe it detracts from the strength of Tennant's moat. And one thing you got to remember too is that our concerns are not reasons we don't like the company. It's reasons we can't forecast stronger top line growth. And we believe the no new competitive advantages would not allow us to forecast stronger top line growth because there isn't a new competitive advantage.
Going off of that as well, through some of our proprietary research, we got the chance to talk to different distributors, customers, contract cleaners, and one contract cleaner actually said 100% I would switch to a lower cost competitor. He actually did end up buying a SoftBank Wiz. SoftBank has invested $114 million in Brain Corporation, as well as is partnering with ICE for their autonomous cleaner and the Wiz as well. He said it was mostly due to the 100 to 150% premium from the T7 to the T7 AMR, so we see that as an effect as well.
Okay, so my question is also regarding the T7 AMR, so the autonomous cleaning machine. So you have a chart showing the demand is actually going down, but the growth will be from the autonomous, machine, that part. So help us to understand what's the product cycle here? So Neofisk, some other competitors, what's the penetration adoption of the autonomous machine here? And then specific to Tennant, are they going to launch new product? What's the penetration they want to reach, or the dynamics here, if you can talk more?
So within the autonomous space, Tennant currently only has the T7 AMR, which is a larger machine. You can see other companies like Karcher have smaller autonomous vehicles. So that's where we believe that Tennant could penetrate the market with. They could introduce another smaller autonomous machine, reaching those smaller spaces, because right now, with the largeness of the T7 AMR, it's not able to completely clean a space that has obstacles or other barriers in there. So if they were able to introduce robotics into another smaller cleaner, that'd be really beneficial. They'd be able to penetrate the autonomous market further.
So just to follow up, how big is that market if you see the, 20-30% of penetration or conversion from the current one to the autonomous machine? So how big is that market size?
You mean the autonomous market size or the Tennant's industry size, sorry?
The autonomous part.
Right now, from the research that we found, the industry size for autonomous equipment is about $2 billion. That was as of 2018.
So that's a global market size, right? Okay, thank you.
I wonder if you can estimate what the financial impacts of the coronavirus would be on the company?
So the coronavirus could have two impacts in our opinion. We believe that it could have a positive effect on the company, as increasing cleaning standards or increasing knowledge about needing to properly clean and sanitize facilities would impact them in a positive light. However, a lot of the countries that are being impacted by coronavirus don't necessarily use the premium player. They use a mid-tier market or a cheaper option. And so, whereas it might benefit them because of increased standards, cleaners wouldn't necessarily go to a high-cost cleaner right away. They might start with a lower-cost competitor, so it might have negative impacts that way.
In terms of supply chain concerns too, there's some of that with going on with the coronavirus right now. Tennant management has said they're trying to bring some of their suppliers back home, or not back home, but localize their suppliers, which would help reduce the risk of events like this going forward.
So just as a follow-up, in terms of the product we're going to market with in China, that's the Tennant product that they're going to market with, or some other product?
Yeah, so with their recent acquisition of Gaomei, that is where they're trying to penetrate the Chinese market. However, Tennant plans to cross-sell their Tennant products with existing Gaomei customers.
Thank you.
Going back to the ECH2O, can you go into some detail about how the people that you talked with, and you said customers, distributors, people who actually use the machines, how they feel about that, and is that a competitive advantage to the company?
So through our proprietary research, talking to UMD facilities management crew, they actually really enjoy the ECH2O technology. It is less of a safety risk for janitors to use since they don't have to deal with chemicals, and it works really well with the equipment. So ECH2O technology is just ionizing the water through electricity, so you don't need to use those harsh chemicals. And
I can add on to that further. When we visited Menards in Duluth as well, they use an ICE robotics, AMR actually, autonomous mobile robot that ICE produces using the brain technology. And they showed us that every time they have to run it, they have these packets that they have to put in it. So it not only is safer for the consumer, but it also saves costs for them. So they really, really like the ECH2O and target facilities management.
You guys flip back to your slide. I think you had listed out 5 different risks. So then, when you list these 5 out, which are the couple that you think could have the biggest negative impact on your forecast? And if you quantify the negative impact, that would be great.
Yeah, I think in terms of what issue could hurt them the most, I think you got to look at A4 and A5 there. The rapid adoption of autonomous cleaning equipment could definitely be a strong growth driver for the company. Obviously, we've talked to a lot of people who say that the price point and the technology just isn't there yet, but the targets that, if this still becomes an issue for, or if there is no more issue, sorry, for autonomous cleaning to be within
in addition to the adoption of the autonomous cleaning equipment, in the last earnings call, management has stated that this will be accretive to their EBITDA margin, which going forward, they're turning towards profitable growth. This would be better for the company as they move towards that goal, as it is would help improve their EBITDA margin.
You said that one of their merits is their commitment to innovation. Can you just discuss their R&D spending relative to peers, and if you've seen any changes in competitor strategies when it comes to their investments in R&D?
So starting out with Tennant, historically they spent around 4% of our of sales in R&D. This decreased after the acquisition of IPC and Galway to under 3%. But going forward, they expect to spend, they're targeting a 3% spend to continually innovate and produce more of these better products too.
Going off of that as well, Nilfisk is very comparable with their R&D spend to Tennant. They're very focused on their autonomous segment right now. They do have one Nilfisk AMR out on the market, as well as is bringing one to the market with Brain Corporation this year. So they are very focused there, as well as they're divesting their blue line machines in order to put that into their gray line business. They really want to streamline their R&D expenditures so they can really hit home and make sure that that R&D spend is going where it needs to for the end customer.
So you had a slide before just on the revenue growth rates, and I think it just showed basically the increase in growth from the 2 acquisitions that they had done and then sort of your projection going forward. So I think what I wanted to do is just ask a question about what the prior growth rate was versus your projection and kind of how those differ.
So we are not projecting any major inorganic growth going forward. So looking at organic growth over the past 5 years, we have Tennant has achieved a 2.2% organic growth rate, which is in line with guidance for this next year and very much in line with our expectations going forward as well.
I can add to that as well. In their last earnings call, management provided guidance through fiscal year 2024, in which they're targeting organic revenue growth of between 2 and 3%. So we're also in line with those expectations with management.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.